Ever wondered what happens when things go wrong in the world of mining?
Hey! Slow the down!
Get ready for a thrilling story about Parker Schnabel, a famous miner. He's about to travel to Alaska to finalize his mining plans, but before he goes, he meets with Mitch at the gold mining site to check on the wash plant.
We mined out the Unforgiven cut so fast, so we're gonna shut.
Things seem to be going well until a machine suddenly breaks down in front of Mitch. Will this get him fired? Will this affect Parker's gold target for the season? Find out as we reveal the shocking aftermath of this unexpected failure and its impact on Parker's team. Error with the super stacker. Things weren't going too well for Mitch, the trusted foreman of Parker Schnabel's gold mining crew. Parker had left for Fairbanks, Alaska, and Mitch had promised him that everything on the site would run smoothly in his absence. Mitch oversaw the activities of the crew, making sure that the wash plants used for modern-day gold mining were functioning properly. However, just as the crew was about to start working, a crucial machine called the super stacker experienced a failure. The super stacker was supposed to work closely with another wash plant called Sluicifer. Together, they were tasked with separating gold from the pay dirt before Parker's return. Mitch had planned to use the super stacker and Sluicifer to meet the weekly gold target. However, with the unexpected failure of the super stacker, the crew faced the possibility of falling short on their gold output for the week.
Inside the box, this truck, one of our old rock trucks, we ended up just parting it out, using parts and pieces on different trucks.
Mitch knew he had to act quickly to minimize the machine's downtime and get it back into operation as soon as possible. The plan to meet Parker's target had seemed promising on paper. Mitch arranged for Sluicifer to be dragged to a large 30-foot-high pad, where it would be assembled alongside the super stacker. The super stacker, which was around 120 feet long, was the only means of transporting pay dirt to the height where Sluicifer would be positioned. Alec Kelly, a mechanic in Parker's crew, ran final tests on the super stacker after Sluicifer was set up on the pad. With the generator running, Alec announced that he was about to activate the hydraulics and test the rollers. He planned to extend the stinger and ensure everything was aligned before getting the super stacker hauled out. Excitement filled the crew as Alec turned on the hydraulics, causing the super stacker to come to life with a screeching sound. Alec directed the machine toward a nearby building, raising the extension and positioning it at an upward angle of over 12.5 degrees. As the super stacker adjusted to the angle, Alec marveled at its massive size. The super stacker continued to rise until it reached an angle of 17.5 degrees. But as Alec started to lower it, disaster struck. The machine suddenly crashed to a halt, accompanied by a loud mechanical sound. Alec was left stunned as he ran around the super stacker, trying to locate the source of the problem. Eventually, he discovered an area where oil was leaking in small drops. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Alec whispered that it was bad news.
It's kind of like a little plug there.
It's not looking good.
We got any other machines around here?
The crew faced a serious problem. Any downtime experienced by the super stacker would impact their ability to meet Parker's weekly gold target. Alec explained that the plug holding the hydraulic oil in place had blown out of the cylinder, causing the oil leak. It was crucial to stop the oil from leaking, but the crew was unsure how to proceed. In a desperate attempt to contain the situation, Alec tried to raise the super stacker, but this only worsened the problem. The top of the plug fell away, leading to a catastrophic leak of oil. Now, the crew faced an even more daunting challenge. The oil no longer dripped in small drops. It flowed steadily and slowly. Mitch and the crew were left with the task of stopping the leak and finding a solution to restore the super stacker to working order. The clock was ticking, and every moment of downtime meant lost gold and wasted time. Mitch knew that he had to act quickly to salvage the situation and ensure that the crew could meet Parker's expectations.
Because this is all pretty well dried out, so you could probably sluice your ditch, right?
Yeah.
This failure of the super stacker posed a significant problem for the crew, and for Mitch in particular. Instead of oil leaking in small drops, the plug holding the hydraulic oil blew out of the cylinder, causing the oil to flow out in a slow and steady stream. Time was of the essence, and Mitch knew he had to act quickly to address the issue before Parker's return. With the top of the plug out of the way, Mitch and the crew faced a daunting challenge. The oil leak needed to be stopped, and a solution had to be found to restore the super stacker to working order. The crew couldn't afford to waste any more time, as every moment of downtime meant lost gold and wasted opportunities. Mitch quickly arrived at the scene, driving with a sense of urgency. He asked Alec, the mechanic who had been working on the super stacker, how things were going. Before Alec could answer, Mitch, with quiet excitement, mentioned that Slucifer was ready in the cup, unaware of the crushing problem Alec had just faced moments ago. Alec, burdened by the weight of the situation, could only wish that Mitch's statement was true. However, he knew that wishes wouldn't solve their immediate problem. He made the painful decision to dampen Mitch's hope and inform him that they were not ready to proceed. The machine was down and out, and they were far from being prepared to meet Parker's expectations. Mitch's face fell as Alec broke the news. He understood the gravity of the situation and the impact it would have on their ability to achieve their weekly gold target. However, he refused to give in to despair. Instead, he rallied the crew and called for a meeting to brainstorm possible solutions. During the meeting, the crew members shared their thoughts and ideas. They discussed the possibility of repairing the super stacker themselves, considering the urgency of the situation. Mitch assigned tasks to different crew members, ensuring that everyone played a role in solving the problem. Alec, with his expertise in mechanics, took charge of assessing the damage and devising a plan for repairing the super stacker. He carefully inspected the machine, examining the broken plug and the cylinder. After a thorough evaluation, Alec determined that they would need a replacement plug and a hydraulic cylinder repair kit to fix the issue. Meanwhile, the other crew members sprang into action, searching the mining site for any spare parts that could be used as a temporary fix. They scoured the storage containers, hoping to find something that could help them get the super stacker back up and running. After hours of searching, they managed to find a spare plug that was compatible with the super stacker's hydraulic system. They also located a hydraulic cylinder repair kit that contained the necessary tools and materials for repairing the damaged cylinder. With the required parts in hand, Alec and the crew worked tirelessly to fix the super stacker. They carefully replaced the broken plug and used the repair kit to fix the damaged cylinder. It was a challenging and time-consuming process, but their determination never wavered. Finally, after hours of hard work, the super stacker was repaired and ready for operation once again. Mitch and the crew felt a sense of relief and accomplishment.
Just making sure that we've got it all ready to start running. We've got to start pulling the ditching out and we can start making some money. It's got to come from somewhere, and well, hopefully this plant's going to catch us some gold.
As they saw the machine come back to life, they tested the super stacker, ensuring that all the repairs had been successful and that it was functioning properly. With the super stacker back in action, the crew could now focus on meeting Parker's weekly gold target. They resumed their mining operations, working diligently to process the pay dirt and extract the precious gold. Despite the setback they had faced, they were determined to make up for lost time and maximize their gold production. Mitch was entrusted with overseeing the operations of Parker's crew while he was away. Mitch worked tirelessly to ensure that the wash plants, especially the super stacker, which played a crucial role in sluicing gold, were functioning properly. However, just as Parker left for Alaska, the super stacker experienced a sudden breakdown, leaving Mitch in a difficult situation. The super stacker was meant to work alongside another wash plant called Slucifer, with the goal of separating gold from the pay dirt. Mitch had planned to use the super stacker and Slucifer to meet the weekly gold target set by Parker. However, the unexpected failure of the machine jeopardized their ability to achieve their goals. The plan was to position Slucifer on a large 30-foot-high pad and connect it to the super stacker, which would transport the pay dirt to the top of Slucifer's frame. The pay dirt would then go through Slucifer, leaving behind clean gold while disposing of the unwanted tailings.
We're just gonna fire this plant up and see if it works.
The crew was excited to get started, but their hopes were quickly dashed. A mechanic named Alec Kelly ran final tests on the super stacker after Slucifer was set up on the pad. Alec informed the crew that the generator was running and prepared to operate the super stacker. He activated the hydraulics, causing the machine to come on with a screeching sound. The crew cheered as Alec prepared to move the super stacker to its designated location. However, as Alec adjusted the angle of the super stacker, a sudden crash occurred, bringing the machine to an abrupt halt. Alec frantically searched for the source of the problem and discovered a leak in the hydraulic system. The crew's excitement turned to despair as they realized the severity of the situation. The plug that regulated the lifting cylinder in the super stacker had blown out, causing the oil leakage. Mitch and Alec knew that any downtime experienced by the super stacker would have a significant impact on their weekly goal target.
Of the plug that seals the cylinder broke free, causing a catastrophic.
They had to act quickly to fix the machine and stop the oil from leaking. Alec attempted to raise the super stacker, but this only worsened the situation. The top half of the plug fell away, leading to a catastrophic leak. Mitch arrived at the scene and witnessed the damage firsthand. He shared Alec's despair, knowing that their plans had been halted by a seemingly insignificant plug. Mitch understood that they needed to replace the failed plug, but there was no spare plug available at the mining site.
Come on, baby.
He held the faulty plug in his hand and lamented the fact that they didn't have one in town either. Mitch acknowledged the irony that something as small as a plug could disrupt their efforts to meet Parker's target. Alec, feeling defeated, relied on Mitch's expertise to find a solution. Mitch had a reputation for solving problems in Parker's absence, and he was determined to do the same this time. The crew had to be patient and trust that Mitch would figure out a way to overcome their predicament. Getting a new plug. After the unfortunate breakdown of the super stacker, Mitch Blaschka and the crew at Parker Schnabel's gold mining site were faced with the challenge of finding a replacement plug to fix the hydraulic system. With no spare plug available on site or in town, they had to think creatively to overcome this obstacle. Mitch knew that traveling outside the mining site to find a plug was not a viable option due to time constraints. He gathered the crew and explained his idea of salvaging a plug from one of the old rock trucks that were no longer in use. The crew members listened attentively, understanding the urgency of the situation. The crew set out to search for a suitable plug from the old rock trucks scattered around the mining site. They examined each truck meticulously, looking for a plug that matched the specifications of the super stacker's hydraulic system. The process was time-consuming, but they remained determined to find a solution. After an hour of searching, they stumbled upon an old rock truck that seemed promising. The crew inspected it closely and discovered a plug that appeared to be compatible with the super stacker. Excitement filled the air as they carefully removed the plug, hoping it would solve their problem. Mitch and Alec rushed back to the super stacker, carrying the salvaged plug with them. They inserted the plug into the hydraulic system, cautiously ensuring that it fit properly. They activated the hydraulics, anxiously waiting to see if the salvaged plug would successfully stop the oil leakage. As the machine hummed back to life, it became evident that their efforts had paid off.
Top half of the plug blew right out of the fitting there.
The oil leakage had ceased, and the super stacker was functioning as intended. The crew erupted in cheers and applause, relieved that their resourcefulness had saved the day. Word quickly spread to Parker Schnabel, who was still in Alaska finalizing mining claim plans. He received a call from Mitch, explaining the whole ordeal and the crew's successful improvisation to resolve the issue. Impressed by their resilience and problem-solving skills, Parker commended Mitch and the crew for their ingenuity. Parker Schnabel valued his crew and understood the importance of their contributions to the success of his mining operations. He recognized that mistakes and unforeseen challenges were a part of the mining business. Instead of responding with anger or firing someone, Parker chose to focus on the crew's ability to find a solution under pressure. When Parker returned to the mining site, he gathered the crew and expressed his appreciation for their resourcefulness and dedication. He acknowledged that setbacks were inevitable in their line of work and assured them that he valued their efforts in overcoming the plug issue. Mitch and the crew understood the importance of regular maintenance and having spare parts readily available. They vowed to implement better inventory management practices and ensure that critical components were always in stock. Additionally, Parker emphasized the need for open communication within the team. He encouraged everyone to speak up about any issues they encountered, as early intervention could prevent further complications down the line. An epiphany. As Mitch and Alec left the old rock truck behind, they were determined to find a solution for the faulty plug in the superstacker. They knew that time was of the essence, and the crew couldn't afford any more downtime due to machine failures. They hurriedly made their way through the mining site, scanning the area for other machines that might have the right plug. Their eyes fell upon a large excavator nearby. It seemed like a promising candidate, with its assortment of parts and equipment. Mitch and Alec approached the excavator with cautious optimism. They knew that finding a plug of the right size would be like searching for a needle in a haystack, but they couldn't afford to give up. They carefully inspected the excavator, checking every nook and cranny for a small plug that could fit the superstacker. As they searched through the various parts, they couldn't help but notice that this machine, too, was missing several components. Mitch explained that these missing parts had been used as replacements during previous breakdowns. It was a bittersweet realization. While they couldn't restore the excavator to its optimal state, at least its missing parts could be utilized to keep other machines running smoothly. After a thorough search, Mitch pointed out a plug that resembled the one they needed, only to realize that it was still too large. Disappointment washed over them once again. How much longer could they endure this setback? The crew's plan was hanging in the balance, and every passing minute felt like an eternity. Despite the mounting frustration, Mitch and Alec refused to give up. They knew they had to explore every possible option. They decided to broaden their search beyond the excavator and started looking at other machines in the vicinity. They scoured every corner, hoping to spot even the faintest glimmer of a tiny plug. A sense of weariness started to creep in as the search yielded no immediate results. Alec couldn't help but express his doubts, fearing that they might not find the right plug anytime soon. However, Mitch remained steadfast in his resolve. He encouraged Alec to keep searching, not just in this specific area, but also in other machines scattered around the site. As they moved from one machine to another, their eyes never diverted from the ultimate goal. They meticulously inspected each piece of equipment, checking every plug, connector, and socket. The crew's plan relied on their ability to find a solution, and failure was not an option. Hours passed, and the sun began its descent in the sky. Fatigue started to set in, both physically and mentally. Yet, Mitch and Alec pressed on, their determination unwavering. They knew that finding the right plug was crucial, not only for the superstacker, but also for the entire crew's productivity. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, their perseverance paid off. In a machine tucked away in a remote corner of the mining site, they spotted a small plug that seemed to match the size they were looking for. Excitement surged through their veins as they carefully removed it, holding it in their hands with a mixture of relief and triumph. With the plug in hand, Mitch and Alec hurriedly made their way back to the superstacker. They inserted the new plug into the faulty connection, making sure it fit snugly. As they powered up the machine, a sense of relief washed over them. The superstacker roared to life, its conveyor system working flawlessly once again. The crew cheered as the superstacker resumed its vital role in the mining operation. Mitch and Alec exchanged a proud smile, knowing that their tireless efforts had paid off. They had overcome countless obstacles and persevered through setbacks, all for the sake of the crew's success. As they stood there, basking in the moment, Mitch and Alec realized that this experience had been a light bulb moment for them. Alec let out a sigh, realizing that things were not looking good for both of them. The search for the right plug had been arduous, and they had come up empty-handed so far. However, Mitch, ever the optimist, reassured Alec that they couldn't give up just yet. They had to keep looking, not only at this particular truck, but also at other machines scattered around the mining site. With determination in their eyes, they abandoned the old truck they had been inspecting and set off in search of other machines that might have the plug they needed. They scanned the vast expanse of land, looking for any signs of machines with spare plugs. Mitch suggested checking a particular drilling machine, explaining that it had a lot of hydraulics and, by extension, a couple of plugs. Alec's excitement grew at the prospect of finding the right plugs in the drill, especially since it had recently undergone an engine replacement. As they approached the drill, which was worth $1 million, Mitch and Alec held high hopes of finding what they needed. Surely a machine of this size would have plugs of various sizes. Their expectations were met when they discovered some plugs in a specific area of the drill. However, upon closer inspection, they realized that all the plugs they found were bigger than the one they needed. They examined each plug individually, hoping to find the right one, but their search proved fruitless. Undeterred, Mitch and Alec decided to explore another part of the drill. They combed through various components, hoping to stumble upon the elusive plug. Mitch's sharp eyes eventually spotted the lift cylinder for the drill's mass. Intrigued, he focused his gaze on the lift cylinders, and to his delight, he found a tiny plug at the bottom of one of them. It wasn't immediately clear if this plug would be the right size for the super stacker.
It's kind of like a little plug there.
But it was their best lead so far. All their hopes now rested on this tiny plug. If it turned out to be the right one, their exhaustive search would finally come to an end. Mitch wasted no time and began unscrewing the plug, praying that it would be the right size. Time was of the essence, as the super stacker remained inactive, unable to feed pay dirt to the wash plant and start the sluicing process. The crew was running out of time to meet Parker's target. With anticipation building, the plug finally came out. Mitch took a moment to assess its size, and to their relief, it appeared small enough to fit. They couldn't contain their excitement as they hurriedly made their way to the super stacker, clutching the potentially life-saving plug in Mitch's hand. Reaching the super stacker, Mitch carefully positioned the plug and began screwing it in. Alec watched intently, waiting for confirmation that their ordeal was finally over. As Mitch tightened the plug, a sense of relief washed over him, and his tense expression softened into one of relaxation. Alec looked at Mitch, waiting for confirmation, and Mitch didn't disappoint. With a smile on his face, Mitch exclaimed, "Dude, that's it!" The duo had finally found the right plug for the super stacker. It was a moment of triumph and vindication after hours of relentless searching. With the plug securely in place, they knew they could now resume their brilliant plan for the day. The super stacker would once again be operational, and the crew could continue their mining activities without further delays. As the machines hummed with activity, the crew members couldn't help but feel a sense of relief and accomplishment. They had overcome the challenges they faced with the super stacker and were now on track to meet Parker's ambitious targets. The atmosphere at the site was charged with anticipation and determination. Days turned into weeks, and the crew worked tirelessly, putting in extra hours to compensate for the lost time. Mitch, in particular, took on the responsibility of overseeing the operation of the super stacker and sluicifer. He made sure everything ran smoothly and efficiently, never letting any setbacks hinder their progress. The crew members became a well-oiled machine themselves, working in perfect synchronization to maximize the output of gold. They developed a rhythm, knowing exactly when to load the super stacker with pay dirt and when to clear the tailings from sluicifer. Each member played their part with precision, understanding the importance of their role in the overall process. Despite the initial setback, Parker's crew managed to exceed expectations. The super stacker and sluicifer worked tirelessly, extracting gold from the pay dirt at a remarkable pace. The crew's hard work and determination paid off as they consistently met and even surpassed the targets set by Parker. News of their success spread throughout the mining community, garnering attention and admiration from fellow miners. Parker Schnabel himself was kept informed of the progress and was pleased with the crew's exceptional performance. He knew that his crew's dedication and ingenuity had saved the day and helped them achieve their goals.
Right there, we are right on the money. I'd say our first experiment with sluicifer for the year went pretty good.
Yeah, there you go.
However, amidst the celebration of their success, a cloud of uncertainty loomed over the crew. Rumors began to circulate about Parker's dissatisfaction with some of the team members. Whispers of an upcoming personnel change reached Mitch and Alec, leaving them anxious and uneasy. One day, as the crew members were taking a brief break, Mitch overheard a conversation between Parker and one of his advisors. The conversation sent shockwaves through Mitch's body as he heard the words, "Parker Schnabel brutally fires employee." Alec noticed the sudden change in Mitch's demeanor and approached him with concern. Mitch shared what he had overheard, and both of them couldn't help but worry about who might be the unfortunate employee facing termination. Days passed, and tension filled the air as the crew awaited Parker's return from Alaska. Each member wondered if they would be the one to face his wrath and lose their job. Anxiety ran high, and work productivity suffered as the crew members were distracted by the impending doom. Finally, the day arrived when Parker made his reappearance at the mining site. The crew gathered nervously, awaiting their fate. Parker's presence commanded attention as he walked towards them, his expression unreadable. With a commanding voice, Parker addressed the crew, acknowledging their hard work and the remarkable results they had achieved. He expressed his gratitude for their dedication and praised their ability to overcome challenges. The tension that had gripped the crew members began to dissipate, replaced by a sense of relief and renewed motivation. However, Parker wasn't blind to the rumors that had been circulating. He acknowledged the need for change within the team, but assured them that it would be a restructuring aimed at further improving efficiency and productivity. He emphasized the importance of teamwork and encouraged the crew members to continue giving their best. As Parker concluded his speech, a wave of gratitude and appreciation washed over the crew. They realized that their fears had been unfounded, and Parker's intention was to build upon their success rather than tear them apart. The crew members exchanged relieved glances and knew that they had been given a second chance to prove themselves. From that day forward, Parker's crew continued to work with unwavering determination and unity. They embraced the changes proposed by Parker, knowing that it was for the greater good of the operation. The superstacker and sluicifer continued to function flawlessly, extracting gold and bringing prosperity to the crew and their mining endeavor. An affirmation. It had been a challenging week for Parker Schnabel and his crew as they battled machine failures and unexpected hitches during their gold mining operations. However, as the week drew to a close, a sense of relief and camaraderie filled the air. The crew gathered together, sharing light-hearted jokes and laughter, a clear indication that they had experienced a successful week despite the setbacks. Now it was time to weigh the fruits of their labor and see how much gold they had managed to sluice. Parker had just returned from Alaska and joined his crew at the mining site. They all gathered in an enclosed space, eagerly awaiting the moment of truth. If the superstacker's downtime had affected their gold production, it would be evident in the ounces they had managed to extract. The atmosphere was vibrant, filled with muffled giggles and playful banter. Parker's attention turned to the superstacker, and he inquired about the issues they had faced with the conveyor system. Mitch, one of the crew members, took the initiative to explain what had transpired. He described how the plug had blown out when Alex started the superstacker's hydraulic system. The small size of the plug made it a challenge to find a replacement quickly. Mitch went on to recount the impressive problem-solving skills exhibited by himself and Alec. They scoured the mining site, eventually discovering a plug of the same size in a drill used for engine swaps, which had been stored away in the yard. The crew couldn't help but joke about the incident, suggesting that nobody should park their personal vehicles in the yard, lest they suffer a similar fate as the drill. Laughter filled the room, momentarily easing the tension caused by the equipment malfunction. While the superstacker had experienced difficulties, the other wash plant, Big Red, had been diligently working. Both wash plants, Sluicifer and Big Red, had been pushed to their limits under these unique circumstances. Big Red had tirelessly sluiced gold throughout the week without interruption, determined not to be outdone by Sluicifer. Finally, it was time to weigh the gold they had obtained. Chris, a crew member, carefully brought out a bowl containing the sluiced gold and poured it into the ounce reader. As someone counted down vocally, the crew watched anxiously as Chris continued pouring. The numbers climbed steadily, 120, 140, and eventually settled at 162.85 ounces. The value of this haul exceeded $290,000. Despite the challenges they had faced, Parker Schnabel's crew emerged triumphant. Sluicifer had managed to sluice an impressive amount of gold, even with the superstacker's downtime. The week's successes showcased the resilience, resourcefulness, and teamwork of the crew members. As they celebrated the fruitful week, the crew knew they could overcome any obstacle that came their way. With renewed confidence, they looked forward to the next chapter in their gold mining adventure, the problem-solving prodigy. In the world of gold mining, where every second counts, having a reliable and skilled mechanic is crucial. One such unsung hero is Mitch Blaschke, the foreman of Parker Schnabel's crew. Mitch's exceptional mechanical skills and quick thinking have saved the crew from numerous catastrophic situations. In this story, we will delve into the life of Mitch Blaschke, his journey as a self-taught mechanic, and his pivotal role in turning around a disastrous machine failure. It was a tense day at Parker Schnabel's mining site when disaster struck. The superstacker, a vital piece of equipment, suffered a machine failure. The crew was in a state of panic, fearing the worst for their mining operation. However, amidst the chaos, Mitch Blaschke remained calm and collected. He knew that time was of the essence, and the crew's livelihood depended on finding a solution quickly. Mitch Blaschke was no ordinary mechanic. Despite lacking formal certification in mechanical engineering, his passion for machines and natural talent led him to become an expert in his field. Starting at the age of 14, Mitch embarked on his professional career as a mechanic to fund his kart racing hobby. This early experience working in a collision repair shop honed his skills and provided him with a solid foundation in mechanical repairs. Even while working for Parker Schnabel, Mitch never let go of his love for kart racing.
Buddy, I like it.
The super stacker fixed.
In his spare time, he would construct go-karts, showcasing his mechanical prowess. His Facebook and Instagram pages are filled with pictures and videos capturing his passion for building and racing karts. Mitch's dedication to his hobby played a significant role in developing his technical insights into machines. Mitch's reputation as a talented mechanic spread throughout the crew. Whenever a wash plant malfunctioned or equipment like the superstacker went awry, Mitch was the first person called upon. His innate wisdom and problem-solving skills saved the crew from countless difficult situations. Mitch's expertise was not limited to fixing broken machines. He also played a crucial role in training and mentoring new crew members, ensuring that technical knowledge was shared among the team. With the superstacker malfunctioning, the crew faced a daunting challenge. The rare plug required for the repair was not readily available in town, and the nearest shop was a long drive away. However, Mitch's resourcefulness came to the rescue. He remembered seeing similar plugs in some of the other machines scattered around the mining site. Determined, Mitch scoured the area, searching for the elusive plug that could save the crew from financial ruin. After hours of searching, Mitch finally stumbled upon the plug he needed. It was a moment of triumph for him and a glimmer of hope for the crew. With the plug in hand, Mitch swiftly replaced the faulty one in the superstacker, restoring the machine to working order. The crew heaved a collective sigh of relief, grateful for Mitch's ingenuity and dedication. Mitch Blaschke's story is a testament to the power of passion, determination, and innate talent. Despite lacking formal certification, he rose to become the trusted foreman of Parker Schnabel's crew, thanks to his exceptional mechanical skills and problem-solving abilities. Mitch's unwavering commitment to his craft and his ability to think on his feet have saved the crew from numerous disasters. His story serves as an inspiration to all, reminding us that with the right mindset and a passion for what we do, we can overcome any challenge that comes our way. We explored the remarkable journey of Mitch Blaschke, the great member of Parker Schnabel's crew. His mechanical genius and quick thinking have saved the team from numerous disasters. As for what happens next, only time will tell. Will they find the treasure they seek?
Mine out a record-breaking 90 acres of ground in just one season.
277.3.
Not bad.
Not a bad run.
I think it's definitely going to come down to the wire for sure.
Parker Schnabel took the gold hunting game from his grandpa and hit it big in the cold Yukon, making millions of cash.
We also have one more plant to go, right?
The real killer. It's about to pull a 5-gallon pail out of there right now.
All right, so here we go. This is a little hope.
Then, he got really smart about it, diving into fashion and jewelry with his fortune.
The way I see it, I've got two options. Walk away, or we can double down and you guys can go find some good ground.
Ever think about what secrets these rich gold diggers have? Join us to analyze big dreams, wild adventures, and all the hidden stuff under that icy blanket where Parker plays big. Parker turns Gold Rush into big bucks. Parker Schnabel, the star of Gold Rush, really hit it big in his past seasons, finding gold in the tough Yukon territory. This young man got into mining early, inspired by his gold expert granddad.
I am pushing hard. Hopefully get this whole show done before it starts snowing.
He moved from barely running his business to exploring new areas like jewelry and clothes, increasing his success.
Right here, you guys, is 400 ounces.
Well, that's a good way to start.
Born in Haines, Alaska, on July 22, 1994, Parker comes from a long line of gold miners. His grandpa, John Schnabel, is a legend in the field.
We're down here in runway cut. Pay is kind of split, half and half, wet and dry.
Parker picked up all the good stuff from his grandpa. Parker learned gold mining in Porcupine Creek, Alaska, where his grandpa had a mine. That's where he fell for gold mining, marking the start of his journey into the unknown. His road to riches kicked off with Gold Rush on the Discovery Channel, showing him and others mining in Canada's Yukon territory. Parker's smart tactics and hard work made him a fan favorite. Starting as a teen, he climbed the ranks in the gold world, becoming a wealthy businessman through the show and his smart gold mining moves, amassing millions.
10, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18.
Unofficially, his net worth is said to be $8 million, proving his skill and smarts in mining go beyond just TV. Many fans ask, did Parker make a lot from gold mining? It's tricky. Mining involves lots of factors like weather and tech advancements. His time on Gold Rush highlighted his mining skills and perseverance, extracting gold from tough Yukon spots. Finding and efficiently mining gold spots are key to his dream of wealth, but the exact amount of gold he's mined is kept secret. His show glimpses his mining, but the full scope of his gold production is unknown.
Last year we did, what, 7,400? Something like that? We're at
6,483.
Let's see where we end up.
Gonna start with Big Red. Ready? Yeah.
Gold mining is competitive, with miners often keeping their numbers secret. So we might never know the full details of Parker's mining success. Despite success, Parker keeps pushing boundaries, driven by finding new gold spots and his love for the land. But how did he become such a great strategist and leader? Gold Rush shows Parker's non-linear path to success. Every new season brings fresh challenges, and Parker is always ready to tackle them. Starting his journey at 16 in 2010, he opened his own mining company, staked a claim on Porcupine Creek, and started mining with a small team. Young but talented, Parker had skills and instincts far beyond his years. Parker and his team went on an adventure to uncover hidden treasures in the tough Yukon. Right from the start, Parker had a knack for spotting gold where others saw nothing. This skill made him different. He could find opportunities where others just saw empty space. Parker wasn't just good at the science of finding gold. He had a talent for the art of it too. He planned carefully and used his know-how to invent new gold mining methods that were effective and profitable. Whether he was using the latest gadgets or ancient techniques handed down through generations, Parker's mining method was like an art. His ability to adapt was key. In a world where things change fast, he stayed flexible and made things work. He adjusted his methods to meet the challenges of an unpredictable environment. As Parker digs deeper, his fame grows, and he ventures into new businesses. This change tests his origins and shapes his journey. Facing the tough times with Parker. His steady determination helped him overcome obstacles like sudden weather changes or unexpected problems. The most impressive part of his success was how he inspired his team. Despite his youth, they respected and followed him, seeking his advice and direction. His commitment to being the best motivated everyone around him. Parker's reputation as a gold miner grew as he became known for his successes, becoming a role model for young miners, showing that age doesn't define success in a traditionally experience-driven field.
Right, but Greg Remsburg's not coming back. Mike Beaudry, our mechanic, is leaving as well, and Rick's mother has brain cancer. Terrible.
But Parker's story took a major turn in 2012. The creators of the small-scale show Gold Rush got interested in him. This show follows several gold mining families in Canada's Yukon. Parker became a big part of this show, boosting his fame. Yet he didn't let fame go to his head. He used his increasing visibility to build more wealth and success. He ventured into writing and teaching, launched his own gold mining equipment line, and diversified into jewelry and clothing. His jewelry business combined gold's classic appeal with precious stones, creating beautiful pieces that reflected his mining passion and craftsmanship. His clothing brand appealed to adventure lovers and outdoor enthusiasts who wanted stylish gear for their exploits. Parker stood out as a business owner by identifying and exploiting market gaps. His innovative, creative, and strategic thinking set him apart from his peers. He embraced risks and challenges, making his business journey unique. From his teenage mining days to now, he's faced setbacks and disappointments.
When it comes to telling the crew to shut the plant down, I think that I should have some input in that.
But these didn't deter him. He keeps seeking new ventures and encourages others to do the same. Parker's business success comes from hard work, determination, and a commitment to quality. With his business expanding and exploring new avenues, it's exciting to see what's next for him. Throughout, Parker's family has been his backbone. His grandfather, John Schnabel, inspired him to pursue gold mining. His parents supported his ambitions without hesitation. Parker's story shows that nothing is impossible with hard work and perseverance. So what's the deal with Parker Schnabel's wealth? It's clear he's made quite a mark for himself. Winning on the show, launching businesses, and family support have all played a part in building his fortune. In 2016, Parker Schnabel faced a huge loss when his grandpa John Schnabel passed away at 92. John was Parker's hero, and losing him was tough.
One big problem. It's just too much water right now. We got no water here, and we've got tons of water up here.
Despite his grief, Parker didn't give up. He went back to Porcupine Creek, where his grandpa had taught him mining. There, in the tough Yukon, Parker found both peace and a mission. He believed his grandpa would have wanted him to continue the family tradition of gold mining. Starting a new mine in the Yukon wasn't easy. It required lots of planning and hard work. But Parker was determined, fueled by the memory of his grandpa. This new mine was more than a business to Parker. It was a tribute to his grandpa. After much hard work, Parker's new mine opened. The first find of gold there was a big win, but challenges kept coming. Parker pushed through, motivated by his grandpa's memory and the family legacy. In his quest for gold, Parker Schnabel also aims to care for the earth. He tries to balance his family's legacy with environmental responsibility. Kind heart, big impact, Parker's way. Parker isn't just a skilled miner. He's an inspiration to many. However, he also knows mining must be balanced with caring for the earth. Unlike many who focus only on the gold, Parker commits to responsible mining.
This is a little depressing. Getting antsy? I'm getting not antsy, I'm getting scared. I care about the gold. I care if we're losing it.
He works hard to reduce environmental damage, following strict environmental guidelines and using the latest technologies to minimize impact. Parker goes beyond just compliance, actively seeking better mining practices that are kinder to the earth. Moreover, Parker uses his influence to promote sustainable mining practices worldwide. He speaks out for environmental protection and encourages others in the industry to join him in responsible mining efforts. Parker's kindness extends beyond the environment. He actively supports the Yukon community, donating to charities, supporting local projects, and improving lives through education and aid programs. Parker's generosity has made a real difference in many people's lives, showing that his impact goes well beyond mining. Parker is not just generous with money, he genuinely cares about his community. He goes beyond donating and attending fundraisers, actively listening to people's concerns, understanding their needs, and helping them tackle important issues. This approach helps him form real connections and gain trust locally. Despite his fame and wealth, Parker remains humble and approachable, never seeking recognition for his good deeds. He views helping others as a privilege, not a duty, believing even small acts of kindness can significantly impact those in need. Parker's wealth comes mainly from his success on the TV show Gold Rush, where he earns a significant amount per episode, making him a star and highlighting his mining skills.
Designed a little differently. Because the big bedrock gets stuck in it, and you can see all the rock on the top of our generator. Yeah, that shouldn't be happening.
Beyond TV, Parker is a savvy businessman, owning a mining company and launching his own merchandise, contributing to his fortune. Yet, Parker's success hasn't changed him. He values perseverance, honesty, and humility, attributes that endear him to fans and peers alike. In addition to his mining ventures, Parker's smart investments in real estate and other businesses further increase his wealth, demonstrating his business acumen. Parker's lifestyle reflects his passion for life and business. He enjoys the finer things, including luxury homes and smart real estate investments that generate income, showing his strategic approach to wealth and his commitment to his roots and new opportunities. Parker stands out among real estate investors because he's great at spotting opportunities and taking smart risks. He believes real estate is a path to wealth if handled correctly, using his skills to maximize his investments. Parker chooses his investments by studying the market, crunching numbers, and trusting his instincts. Additionally, Parker's real estate choices align with his broader financial strategies, allowing him to diversify his investments across real estate, stocks, and businesses. This diversification lowers his risk and increases his potential for making money. His property collection is a key part of building a secure and prosperous future, offering stability, growth, and a path to wealth. Parker's ability to adapt to market changes sets his real estate empire apart. He's always ready to adjust his strategies to benefit from new trends and opportunities. Beyond gold mining, Parker has a passion for cars, owning a collection that reflects his success and taste for fine things. His collection ranges from rugged off-road vehicles to luxury SUVs, showcasing his success and lifestyle. Behind Parker Schnabel's achievements are his powerful machines and big dreams. Explore what motivates a man who seemingly has it all. Parker's road to riches on 4 wheels. The highlight of Parker's collection is the high-performance Ford Raptor, perfectly suited for the Yukon's tough landscapes. Its powerful engine and rugged design make it an ideal choice for someone adventurous like Parker. The Raptor's unique black and red design showcases Parker's boldness and readiness for new adventures. Parker's garage also includes a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, a symbol of luxury and status loved by celebrities and the wealthy. For Parker, the G-Wagon isn't just a vehicle, it's a statement of his achievements and refined taste. His collection also features a classic Jeep Wrangler, the ultimate symbol of outdoor adventure, and a custom Chevrolet Silverado, versatile for both everyday tasks and off-road exploration. Parker's vehicles not only serve practical purposes but also reflect his personality and interests. Parker's investments in real estate and his car collection speak volumes about his luxurious lifestyle. What's next for Parker remains to be seen, but his drive and ambition suggest more successes are on the horizon. Parker Schnabel isn't just living the dream. He's a living testament to where ambition can take you. Stepping into Parker Schnabel's world reveals more than gold. Famous for his role in Gold Rush, Parker is also an accomplished author, sharing his remarkable life story through his books. Parker Schnabel's first book, Golden Dreams, the memoir, Chasing Golden, Finding My Fortune in the Yukon.
Some nice coarse gold out of
Oh, yeah.
Holy
Right.
Shares his incredible journey into gold mining. Through his vivid storytelling and heartfelt reflections, Parker takes us through the ups and downs and the valuable lessons he learned along the way. Starting his gold mining journey in Alaska wasn't easy for Parker. Being the grandson of the well-known miner John Schnabel meant he had big shoes to fill. Despite growing up in a mining family and learning the ropes early, Parker faced many obstacles, doubts, and setbacks that challenged his resolve and determination. One of Parker's main challenges was proving himself as a skilled miner. He boldly rented a claim on Porcupine Creek and started his mining operation with little money and experience. Despite the risks and uncertainties, Parker's grit and perseverance saw him through. Dealing with equipment failures, unpredictable weather, and fluctuating gold prices, Parker never lost hope. His grandfather's advice and his own self-belief pushed him to learn from his failures, emphasizing the importance of resilience, hard work, and never giving up on your dreams. As Parker's operations grew, so did his reputation. His knack for finding gold where others didn't quickly earned him respect and recognition. But for Parker, it was about more than just finding gold. It was about proving his mettle in the competitive world of mining. Parker's journey introduced him to a variety of people, from seasoned experts to newcomers, all of whom contributed to his unique approach to mining and business. Navigating the industry's highs and lows required courage, stability, and unwavering dedication, a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Golden Dreams invites readers to see the world of gold mining from a miner's perspective, sharing the realities behind the industry's successes and failures. Parker's honesty and encouragement inspire readers to pursue their own dreams, no matter how daunting they may seem. Join Parker Schnabel as he dives deeper into the secrets behind his success. He shares valuable lessons and cautions from his journey. Dig deep and win big with Parker's tips. In Audacious Gold, How I Turned Passion into Profit, Parker Schnabel opens up about his journey in the gold mining world. He talks about everything from the start, like how to pick the right spots to dig for gold, to building a team that works like a well-oiled machine. Parker tells us all about the bumps he hit on the road and the smart moves he made that helped him build a gold mining empire. Parker really gets into the nitty-gritty of gold mining. He lays out a step-by-step guide using stories from his own life to show how it's done. It's like he's sitting down with you, sharing his playbook on how to make it big in gold mining. Whether you're just thinking about getting into mining or you've been at it for years, there's something in Parker's book for you. His tales are not just interesting, they're packed with tips and lessons. One of the big points Parker hammers home is how crucial it is to find the right places to mine. He explains that the secret to striking it rich isn't just working hard, it's working smart, starting with where you choose to dig. Parker dives into how he spots a good mining claim, the research and planning that goes into it, and how keeping an eye out for the perfect opportunity has paid off big time for him. He didn't just stumble upon success. He chased it down with a mix of guts and wisdom. Parker also stresses the importance of not going at it alone. He talks about how crucial his team has been to his success. It's about finding people who share your vision and are as determined as you are to strike gold. He shares how to lead a team to victory, making sure everyone's rowing in the same direction, and how that teamwork has been a gold mine in itself. Getting the right mining claims is just the start. What you do with them matters just as much for lasting success. Parker's book guides readers on assessing claims, setting up efficient mining operations and maximizing profits. He emphasizes improving processes and reducing costs to increase earnings, vital for the business's survival. A crucial aspect of Parker's mining approach is teamwork. Audacious Gold highlights the importance of assembling and leading a team united in their goals. Through effective communication, mentoring, and empowering team members, Parker has fostered a culture of success, innovation, and higher productivity in his operations. What sets this book apart is Parker's candidness about the challenges and obstacles encountered in mining. He doesn't shy away from discussing daily hurdles, such as equipment failures, environmental issues, market fluctuations, and regulatory challenges. He provides readers with practical solutions for overcoming obstacles, adapting to changes, and succeeding in the ever-evolving mining industry. Parker's first-hand experience and straightforward advice make Audacious Gold a standout read. His insights from years in the field, coupled with stories and strategies for running a mining business, make his book a valuable resource for anyone interested in the industry. Beyond mining, Parker is a true adventurer who loves exploring the globe, with visits to destinations like Australia, New Zealand, and Guyana. His enthusiasm for discovering new places and appreciating the world's beauty is shared through his social media, offering a glimpse into his travels. And there's more to Parker than just travel. He's an avid hiker, frequently exploring the trails near his home in Haines, Alaska. The stunning photos and videos he shares reflect his deep connection to nature, captivating his followers. When it comes to possessions, Parker's wealth isn't limited to gold. He owns an impressive collection of gold and diamond jewelry and historical items from the Yukon Territory and the Gold Rush era. His collection of vintage mining equipment and photographs is a treasure trove of history. Expanding his business interests, Parker has invested in several tech startups focused on innovative gold mining and extraction techniques.
Hey, Ty, you got a copy, Ty?
Yeah, go for Ty.
These ventures promise significant returns, adding to his diverse portfolio of successes, travels, and investments. Parker is living a dream life of literary achievements, global adventures, and financial ventures. With his ambition and drive, the only question is what new adventures Parker will embark on next. Parker Schnabel is a figure of relentless pursuit, always ready for the next challenge. Does Parker Schnabel's success stem purely from skill, or is luck the hidden gem behind his fortune? Share your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe for intriguing insights.